All right, going back to the gym today, and I guess I want to talk a little more about the whole shoe thing. Some of you may not understand, and I might have got a little hot-headed right there at the end of the last video, and I guess I want to apologize for the language I used. I was pretty mad, and I know that's uncharacteristic to me. If anyone who knows me knows I don't go off on rants like that. I don't get aggressive in that sense. So I guess for me it's just I'm so used to doing XYZ, and when someone tells me don't do it and can't really justify why, and I have to follow in suit just because I don't want to get kicked out of the gym, it just sits there and it irks me. And I guess irks the wrong word to use. I'll probably cut that out. It just irritates me. And when I work out and I'm doing heavy lifting, it just stews in my brain, So stews all through the session, and when I got done and do my little outro, I just gonna let it flow. I'm human, sorry. So the shoe thing, squats and deadlifts, because you're trying to project force downward to the floor through your feet, and some people have said, and I follow along with that, and it works for me, your foot physiologically is efficiently designed to put force down to the ground, to the floor. So when you're doing some kind of expression of strength, where you're trying to lift something heavy or just even jump, actually, it's not really even run barefoot. That's a different situation to me, because I'll get that in a second. But putting force through the floor, through your feet, you don't want anything under your foot that's going to impede that. So shoes, which have typically squishy soles, you're going to squish your sole before you get to putting force to the floor. Now, when you're running and walking, that cushion absorbs a shock to your foot for an uneven surface, rough ground, sharp objects, and that's where shoes come into play. But when you're doing, like I said, a squat or a deadlift, you don't want that cushion between your foot and the floor, because you want to efficiently transfer that force into the floor. Also, when it comes to deadlifts, that sole raises your foot, a centimeter, half centimeter, centimeter and a half, depending on what kind of shoe you're wearing. That puts that bar lower down your leg. That's more distance to lift. So a bare foot or a sock foot, a sock is negligible in that sense, but that moves that bar right where it's supposed to be in your leg, and where your bar path and your range of motion is supposed to be. Adding a shoe just makes it just a slight deficit. Have you ever done deficit deadlifts? So it's less efficient in my mind to do a squishy sole at a small deficit than soles on hard ground. That's why I don't lift with shoes on. So, and most shoes have an elevated heel, unless you get a zero drop shoe or a minimalist shoe. That elevated heel, I think, is also detrimental for a deadlift. Squat shoes have an even more elevated heel, and they're made for a high bar or an Olympic lift, where that bar is higher up on your back and you want to get your knees forward a little bit. There's a whole thing on that. You don't want that when you deadlift, in my opinion, and the opinion of a lot of other strength professionals. You don't want an elevated heel. You don't want a squishy sole. Stop. I hear the brakes on my truck. They need work. Maybe I'll do that after this. So what I have done to appease this gym, I went on Amazon and I went for looking at deadlift shoes. I know they make them. Some sanctioned powerlifting bodies require some kind of shoe. So when I say I compete without them, I don't compete in sanctioned events. That's why I'm allowed to use no shoes. So I found a pair on Amazon. They're minimalist footwear. They're kind of stretchy, really thin sole, zero drop heel. And I found them pretty cheap for less than 30 bucks. So they should be in tomorrow, which comes in handy because I don't squat for a while. So I'll have those ready. Maybe I'll do a little review of them when they come in. Add another video to the channel that's not just me griping in my phone and trying to lift without angering administrations. So, that being said, now let's get back to today. So, it's bench press day, so don't worry about shoes there. I always wear shoes when I bench. I'm not one of those guys. And it's going to be a 5-3-1. So, my work set's going to be a set of 5, set of 3, and a set of 1 plus. I think it's going to be like 260, 265, I would guess. Now, if you remember last week, I only got 1 out of 265 after I did a heavy set of 245. So, going into 265 without an AMRAP prior, maybe I'll get 2 or 3 out of it. I've done 3 of 265, no problem, in the past. And my max bench is 285. Haven't hit the 300s yet. That's my long-term goal of bench press, is 300. Then we'll work to 315. And I'll probably just cruise after that because, like I said, I'm 45. No home run replacements yet. No TRT. I think a 315 at my age is solid work. So, I'm getting close now. This road's rough as heck. Probably my longest intro yet. The brakes, grinding. I think I got a bad caliper. Replace those two. Maybe I'll be a video. Next non-gym video, kind of aligned with the horsepower part of my name. Working on the cars again. See a brake job on a 2010 Silverado. Alright, pulling into the wire. Alright, as always, Redcon 1 pre-workout, Total War Black Ops Edition, sour candy flavor. I say it's worth it if you want to try it. Extra L-citrulline for pump. That's still pretty full. I usually damn near have that done before I come here. So. Get the parking spot. I'm trying to get in the shade because it's another hot one today too. We're here. We're gonna bench. We're not gonna start drama. And try to video without causing a ruckus. So far, so good. So it's probably just gonna be bench press. Probably not gonna see the accessories. Like I said, they're not cool to watch. But if I can hit a big PR, you're definitely gonna see it. And I think I'm going to stick with this format through the rest of the cycle. So probably 2 more videos, a squat and a deadlift. Maybe I'll do a press if I feel good. And then I might do weekly with the 4 lifts instead of a video every day on 1 lift. Just make the content maybe a little more enjoyable. You let me know down the bottom. A Redcon 1 link's going to be in the description. Save 20%, code word STRONGMEDIC. And here we go. that wasn't too bad. So, what it boiled down to, so 255 was my top set, not 265. 255, I took it for 3, which wasn't bad. Took a big fat goose egg for a 270 Joker set. And then punished myself on 200 back off set for, I think I got 10. I need to count that again. I lost count during the set, so I look back at the video, but I believe it was 10. And that last one was, whoo, that was a struggle. And then I ended up doing 5 sets of bent over rows for the first 4 sets. And then last set, 245, I got the wrist straps out and managed to pull 8. And then I realized my belt was unclipped. So a lot of good that belt did me for that set. And it still managed 8. And if you're wondering, on bench days when I do bent over row, I do it underhand. A little more upright than the straight, flat back. I do that because I don't know if you've ever seen how a stretcher comes out of the back of an ambulance and how to load it back up. In my first several years, we had manual cots, so no hydraulics at all. So you had to literally barbell row that stretcher up off the ground so your partner could pull the wheels on the undercarriage to lift it back in, to lock it before you could push that stretcher in the back of a rig. So, and that's how you hold the grips of a stretcher underhand. So that's how I do my rows. And I think it translated pretty well in my career. Now the agency I'm at now, we have power cots with hydraulics, so no need to grunt and lift some 400-pound, 350-pound person all by myself. But I still do them. I like them. I don't know if it does anything for my back. I think my back is decently large. So that's how that is. Didn't film anything else. Incline, I did hit 265 for a set of 5 or 6. Again, I gotta go back and count. On my press days and my bench days, when I get to my bench accessory, it's incline when I'm on a bench day, and then it's narrow grip on my overhead press days. My tries and chest and shoulders are usually pretty wiped, so my last set is usually a struggle and can like fail out of nowhere. So like first set I can get like 8 or 10, and then it's like 8, 6, 5, 4 on those last sets. I think but 265 on incline is pretty decent. Maybe that means my overhead press end of next week, middle of next week will be decent. We'll see. So, bench day in the books. That's it for this cycle. I ain't gonna film a deload. No one cares about that. So, onward to squat. My new shoe should be in tomorrow, and we'll see how those work out. I may just say fuck it on my last set and just pull the shoes off, do a quick single, and throw them back on. Maybe no one will care. Who knows? So we'll see how that goes. Again, Redcon 1 link's going to be in the description. 20% off with code STRONGMEDIC. Now you know why I can say STRONGMEDIC. Manual cots will work your back and shoulders in a busy city like mine. So, all in all, I will see you guys later.